This video is a flashback to our 2 years living in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We originally started out expecting only to stay a year with our daughter, Pamela, and our grandson, David. We weren't expecting to have a pandemic hit the world. The last time David came to Ontario to visit us, he kept asking me who I was. So we were really happy to be here in Edmonton, to be able to spend some quality time with him.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
And that allowed him to finally realize that I was his Nana and that Mike was his grandpa. We arrived here on June 15th and had a fun summer together. We went to the Jurassic Forest with scary lifelike dinosaurs.
Another dinosaur, oh no!
Visited an aviary where we learned all about bees. And visited Sweet Pea Cafe, where not only can you have a nice meal, but play in their little village too. We helped teach him how to ride a two-wheeler.
Yes, he's doing it!
Bought him his first and second scooter, which he rode to and from school every day, until online school, of course. We did dance parties, a surprising sight for Pamela when she returned home from work. Ninja Warrior commentary was always requested by David as he made his way through the climbing equipment at local parks.
He's got excellent grip and swing. Can he make it through the whole thing this time? I don't know, Bob. What do you think?
Sure, he's got this one, Jim. The concentration is...
Oh! Boom.
Grandpa and David enjoyed play fighting and would stage many mock battles. David is very dramatic and he does these quite well.
Oh, he's connected.
Oh! Brutal, but he's the champion.
Oh, he's the champion.
Bye.
When we first arrived, we spent a few weeks helping Pamela out with projects around the house, cleaning eaves troughs, pruning bushes, and small repairs.
David is being bombed. Bombed! How is this happening? What's happening? Oh, the bombs are flying fast and furious. There's the culprit. It's the dastardly Mike.
Our bedroom was just a framed-in space when we arrived, so we built a closet, drywalled, painted, added trim and finishing touches to turn it into a beautiful bedroom. Thanks to our neighbor Brad for the paint, Facebook Marketplace for $40 closet doors and $5 artwork, and a free bed frame. Pretty and economical. Mike and I volunteered to work Veg Fest in September of 2019. There were some amazing speakers, great food, and we met some awesome people that we now call friends. Jasper Provincial Park is just under 4-hour drive from Edmonton and is in the Rocky Mountains. It was exciting visiting Jasper in the fall as the elk were bugling to attract mates, and the males would occasionally ram heads to assert dominance. Visiting off-season was also pleasant as there were no crowds to deal with. We enjoyed hiking along the river and spotting wildlife like this bald eagle. The day of the climate change rally, a cold front surged in and had us bundled up tightly down at the legislative grounds, where hundreds of people joined in to show their support of environmental issues. Lime scooters came to Edmonton this summer, and everywhere we went, we saw people using them. You download the app, unlock your scooter, and away you go around the city. Wherever you end up, you take a photo of where the scooter was left and sign out for the next person to use it. We learned to embrace the snowy weather. We tobogganed, skied, and built snowmen. It was enjoyable to have a winter with snow for the whole season. I do have to say that the 2 weeks we had in 2020 that were between minus 35 and minus 38 degrees Celsius were something we were glad to experience, but not wanting to repeat. The cold penetrated the walls of the house. Furnaces worked overtime and frostbite could occur quickly, so we spent most of those times indoors and layered up our clothing when going out. A great winter activity is a trip to the Ice Castle in Horlock Park. It's a popular attraction filled with ice slides, tunnels, sculptures, and caverns lit with ever-changing colors. It truly is a castle of one's childhood imagination, and someplace I wouldn't be surprised to see Princess Elsa living.
There's David.
through the next little path here. Ah, there's another slide, and people slide in. It's all enclosed. A nice fire.
Warming my hands by the fire.
Like being back in Yellowstone again. Here's the ice slide. There comes David. Woo! Here he comes. Woo!
We think ice is very nice.
Our son Logan moved to BC for work, but came here for a 2-week working vacation. A challenging afternoon was spent at the FitSet Ninja Gym, running their obstacle course and trying to conquer the warped wall. Logan was great going up the rope, but burned his hands on the slide down it. But he was the one to conquer the wall.
Careful, Mike tries. There goes David. Ooh. Oh, gosh.
He went to the high one first. He didn't even use the low one.
The Edmonton Zoo ended up being a wonderful place to go for a walk, especially during COVID, as you were outdoors and socially distanced. We ended up purchasing a yearly pass and spent some enjoyable hours there, including their Christmas light display. Pamela's cats, Moko and Otro, are quite the characters. Moko must have been a parrot in a past life, as he was always trying to sit on our shoulders. Otro, on the other hand, can be found lounging on the couch watching TV. Mike and I enjoyed many bike rides around both our neighborhood area and in the River Valley. The River Valley, which lies along the North Saskatchewan River, covers 48 kilometers and includes 11 lakes and 22 ravines, and is 22 times larger than New York City's Central Park. Edmonton has more than 160 kilometers of multi-use trails, a dream for bikers and walkers. I think that this is a little known fact about the city if you're not living here.
In that other building over there. We just took this elevator up from down at the bottom of the river valley. It's a walkway looking out over the river. Looks like a fire happening up there on top of that building.
Here's the funicular. Funny name, but
It's like a sideways elevator.
downtown Edmonton, just south of Jasper, right on the northern edge of the river valley. Oh, look, there's Heather.
A fun place to get lost, the corn maze on the outskirts of the city had not just a cool maze, but bouncy mats, a little train, and animals. We picked up our pumpkins for Halloween at the store on our way out as well.
David, you doing all
Here's
right?
the maze. We are in the maze, but we made it to a little lookout point to hopefully find our way back out of the maze. Corn maze. Amazing.
I was excited to have been hired on as one of the actors at Edmonton's haunted house this year. It was a fun experience with some great people and frightening scares throughout the haunted house and in their New Orleans themed graveyard. I was amazed at the number of people who had to chicken out because they were too frightened to go through the entire thing. Just before COVID hit, we attended the large RV show at the Expo Center, and it was huge. We toured fifth wheels, travel trailers, pod-style trailers, and pop-ups. We were lucky that this event took place a month before the COVID lockdown began. It really helped us narrow down some of the features we were looking for in our RV. Who would have figured we'd see pelicans in Edmonton? Well, at Beaumaris Lake on the north end of the city, we watched them frolicking in this cute man-made lake while walking the path that encircles it. Another surprising thing we learned about Edmonton is the lack of colorful reds and oranges in most of the trees in this area in the fall. There was one area on 97th that everybody stopped at to take pictures because it was one of the few places where there were maples that turned reds and yellows and orange colors. It was so popular that everyone just pulled over on the side of this 4-lane highway to take their pictures. Well, our 1 year in Edmonton turned into 2 years, but we enjoyed it very much. Just as we found ourselves feeling comfortable in the city, it was time to go. 2 years, less 1 day from the time we arrived. Now it was time to begin our full-time RV living and traveling adventure.
On the way. Goodbye, Edmonton. Check out some of our other videos and subscribe to our channel.
New content will be posted weekly.